You know that feeling when your calendar is packed, your brain is buzzing, and yet that little voice in your head whispers, just push through. Just get through this week. Then you'll catch up. Yeah, that little voice is lying to you because scaling your business, it's not about adding more. It's about leading differently. And today, we're going to talk about what that actually means. Not in theory, but in practice. So you can stop running your business like an exhausted technician and start leading it like a CEO who's building something scalable, sustainable, and worth showing up for. Welcome to the CEO Shift Show. I'm Carol Surbey, business coach, systems strategist, and I help service-based business owners step out of the weeds and into confident leadership using systems that scale without chaos. If you're someone who's smart, capable, and ambitious, but still finds yourself stuck in the day-to-day grind of your own business, this episode's for you. Because we're going to dismantle the myth that hustle is the answer. We're going to talk about why working harder is a trap that keeps you small. 4 strategic shifts you must make to scale without losing control. How to leverage your time like a true CEO. And what it looks like to lead with clarity, not chaos. If you're craving more space, more freedom, more strategy in your week, then this is the conversation that gets you there. Let's begin right where it hurts, just a little, with a truth I wish someone had told me 10 years ago. Your calendar is a mirror, and it's brutally honest. You want to know whether you're leading your business or just surviving it? Don't check your revenue box. Don't check your inbox. Check your calendar. Because if your calendar is jammed from edge to edge with tasks, if there's no white space, no margin, no strategic time carved out, then I'm going to tell you right now, you're not leading, you're laboring. And here's the problem with that. You cannot scale while you're still trying to control minute by minute. This is your first shift. It's a foundational one. You must start treating your time like a CEO, not like an employee. Because employees just fill time. CEOs, they invest it. Your calendar isn't just a reflection of what's urgent. It's a declaration of what you believe your role is. Most overwhelmed CEOs are still building their calendars like a technician. They say yes to every fire, every client ask, every quick favor, because they're afraid that if they don't, the whole thing might just collapse. But here's the truth. A fear-based calendar is what's holding your growth hostage. It creates the illusion of progress while you stay stuck in the weeds. One of my early coaching clients, a powerhouse woman running a multi-six-figure business, came to be totally burnt out. She had a team. She had momentum. But no matter what she did, her days were still chaos. We took a look at her calendar. 80% of her week was still locked in delivery and execution. She was the glue that held everything together, and that glue was starting to crack. So I asked her, I said, where's your CEO time? She blinked at me and she says, what do you mean? That's when I knew we had to rebuild it from the inside out. So we mapped her weekly CEO rhythm, her sacred space for strategic thinking, decision-making, reviewing finances, planning content, and actually leading her business. We blocked her mornings for focus work. We protected Mondays and Fridays for vision and planning. And we created systems for her team to solve 80% of the problems without her. Within 12 weeks, she reclaimed over 10 hours per week. Most importantly, she finally had space to make the kind of decisions that scaled her business, not just keeping her afloat. And yes, she doubled her revenue in 6 months. But more importantly, she got her life back. So I want to turn this to you now. Open your calendar, not just mentally, really look at it. Is it filled with what's urgent or what's important? Does it reflect your role as the CEO or the technician who built the business? If the honest answer is, I'm still operating like an employee, it's not shame. It's actually an invitation. And you can shift this. You can reclaim your time. You can lead with intention. You can build a business that runs not just on your leadership, but you have to start treating time as a first system to scale. So let's talk about shift number 2, protecting your energy, not just your time. I'd like to get really honest with you about something that we don't talk about enough as business owners. You can have the most beautifully color-coded calendar on the planet, and it still feels completely fried. Because having time blocked doesn't mean having the capacity to use it well. Scaling your business isn't just about time management, it's an energy game. Your ability to make decisions, lead your team, sell with confidence, innovate, see the big picture, it all depends on the state of your energy reserves. And if you're constantly running on fumes, everything in your business suffers. Your communication gets reactive, your creativity, it flatlines, your patience with team disappears. And those visionary CEO ideas, they don't even get the chance to surface because honestly, you're just too tired to access them. Now, here's where many smart, capable CEOs get trapped. They say, I just need to manage my time better. I need tighter systems, better blocks, more planning. Those things can help. But let's be real. You don't just need time discipline. You need energy boundaries. I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. If you treated your energy like the most valuable business asset, the thing that determines your decisions, your performance, your vision, what would you stop tolerating? Would you stop being on call 24/7 for your clients? Would you stop checking email first thing in the morning? Would you start saying no to opportunities that don't align, even if they look good on paper? Energy leadership isn't about bubble baths or taking Friday off. It's about protecting the internal fuel that drives everything. You are the most valuable asset in your business. And if you burn out, your vision burns with you. So protect your energy like the business depends on it, because it does. So let's talk about shift number 3, the shift that scares a lot of high achievers, especially those of us who built our businesses from scratch. We're talking about delegation. Now you might be thinking, oh, Carol, I already know how I need to delegate. And actually doing it, those are two completely different things. So here's the truth. If you're still trying to scale while keeping your hands in every detail, you're not scaling, you're bottlenecking. And not only that, you're probably burning yourself out and holding your team back, holding your business back. But delegation isn't about losing control. It's about expanding your leadership. It's the transfer of responsibility backed by clear systems and strong communication. But most of us don't start there. We start in fear and tell ourselves, no one will do it like I do. It will take longer to train someone than to just do it myself. What if they drop the ball and it hurts the business? And those thoughts feel reasonable, even responsible, because quality matters. And trust is earned, not handed out blindly. But what often hides underneath those thoughts is something deeper. The fear of letting go, the belief that you are the glue, and the business works because of your hands-on involvement. And if you step back even a little bit, everything might fall apart. So let me introduce a new frame for you. Delegation is not just about freeing up your calendar. It's about freeing up the future. Do you think a guy like Elon Musk doesn't delegate? He delegates because it's about building a business that isn't dependent on your daily decisions. So you can lead and you can vision instead of being in constant reactivity. Delegation doesn't just protect your energy, it increases your revenue, it expands your capacity, and it builds long-term stability into your business. So here's what I'd like you to reflect on right now. Where in your business do you still cling to something because it feels safer in your hands, even though it's costing freedom, growth, or peace? And more importantly, is it really about their readiness or your reluctance? If you say you want to scale, but you're still acting like the sole operator, that's a mismatch between your vision and your systems. Delegation is how you bridge that gap. It's how you reclaim the role of leader, not fixer. And here's the truth. It starts with one process, one system, one trust-building handoff at a time. You're not just handing off a task. You're stepping into the CEO identity that makes scaling possible. Get into shift number 4. It's the least flashy, but arguably one of the most powerful. We're talking about simplification. Simplification is what separates the overwhelmed, maxed out business owner from the scalable, grounded CEO. Because here's what most people are doing when they say they want to scale. They start adding more offers, more service, more platforms, more visibility tactics, more people, more everything. But scaling by addition without intention doesn't create growth. It creates a runaway train, a business that's fast but frantic, busy and brittle. One that's successful on paper, but in reality, it's exhausting. And the worst part of it is it creates complexity that feeds your overwhelm and hides your inefficiencies. So here's the truth that most people just don't want to hear. Scaling happens through subtraction, through refinement, through focus, through making the courageous decision to do less and to do it better. I had a client come to me last year convinced she needed to launch 2 new services to hit her next income goal. At first, we glanced, and it made sense. She had the skills, she had the audience, she had the drive. But when we looked closer, we realized something absolutely critical. Her existing offer wasn't fully optimized. Her client journey was scattered. Her marketing was spread thin across 4 channels with inconsistent results. So instead of building more, we simplified. We refined her one signature offer. We mapped out a clean, step-by-step client journey that made her process easier to sell, easier to deliver, and more impactful. And we focused all her visibility efforts on one primary marketing channel that actually aligned with how her best clients found her. So want to guess what happened? Not only did she double her revenue within the next quarter, she also cut her working hours by 30%. Her team got closer, her sales got smoother, her stress went down, her clarity went up. And for the first time, she told me, Carol, I finally feel like I finally own my business instead of just chasing it. That's what simplification does. He returns ownership to the CEO. Now, I want to address the resistance that might be coming up for you right now because I hear it all the time. But Carol, if I simplify, won't I miss out? Won't I look like I'm doing less? Won't I lose opportunities? And my answer is, yeah, maybe. You might lose some things. But do you even want those things that you're afraid of losing? Because so often the complexity we hold on to isn't about what's best for the business. It's about protecting our ego. It's about proving something. It's about fear of being irrelevant, being left behind, or being looked at as not doing enough. So let's be super clear. Simplification is not shrinking. Simplification is sharpening. It's about doing less because you're playing smart. So here's what I want you to reflect on today. Where in your business are you complicating things out of fear instead of leading with focused clarity? Are you stacking offers that dilute your core message? Are you showing up everywhere online, hoping something sticks, instead of owning one powerful strategy? And you're tweaking things constantly because you're chasing perfection, not progress. Whatever it is, name it. Because once you see it, you can shift it. And when you lead with focus instead of fear, you built a business that isn't just profitable, it's livable, sustainable, scalable, and deeply aligned with the version of you that no longer needs to prove value through doing more. When I started building my coaching business after selling my concrete company, I brought every bit of that old operator identity with me. The one that said, stay busy, stay useful, stay in control. And if I wasn't doing something every second, I felt like I wasn't pulling my weight. And honestly, believe that if I stopped being the one who held it all together, everything would fall apart. It took a few hard and honest lessons to realize that leadership isn't measured by how much you do. It's measured by how intentionally you create space for vision, for strategy, for other people to rise, and for the next version of you to step forward. The identity that built your business won't be the one that scales it. And the longer that you tried to hold on to being the busiest person in the room, the longer you delay becoming the CEO you're meant to be. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, if this all feels like a stretch or a little uncomfortable, that's not failure. That's the evolution. Lean into it. Because the business you want, the freedom, the space, the peace, the power, it lives on the other side of letting go. So here's your challenge for the week. Pick one of the 4 shifts that we talked about today: time, energy, delegation, or simplification. And commit to making just one small move. Just one. Not an overhaul, not a complete reinvention. One intentional shift that makes space for the CEO you're becoming. And if you want a little support mapping that out, grab your free copy of the CEO Time Leverage Blueprint. It's packed with clear tools, exercise, and mindset prompts that help you start implementing what we covered today, step by step. You can download that now at the scalabilityceoacademy.com. And if you're ready to take this deeper, not just understand the shifts, but actually live them, join us inside the Scalable CEO Academy. That's where we turn insights into systems and overwhelm into momentum. Everything you need, the Academy details, and more is waiting for you all in the show notes. And remember this, you didn't build your business to be trapped by it. You built it to create freedom, to lead with intention, and to design the life you actually want to live. So scaling isn't about working harder, it's about leading smarter. And if you're ready for that next level, I'll see you next week.